What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I'm back with another community lot and today we're building a bowling alley. I actually built this one over on stream. We decided to go ahead and build a little bowling alley in Newcrest, and this is also for my save file that I have been working on. I think I will be releasing a very early draft of my save file somewhere in the next 2 weeks, I think, is what I'm trying to go for at least. So that would be very interesting. But yeah, I'm filling this line of lots, that like long road of lots in Newcrest. I'm trying to fill up that one with all community lots, and I think that this is one of the last ones that I still had to do, actually. Or no, I don't know. I have a couple of empty ones maybe still that I have to fill up. But yeah, I really wanted to do a bowling alley in Newcrest because I wanted to build something mainly for like the teens to come hang out. I did make this a teen hangout, I believe, is one of the lot traits I gave it. But it's also fun for young adults and elderly Sims, obviously. And then kids can go bowling as well, so that is a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. For the whole aesthetic of the build, I was working off of a reference photo that I found on Pinterest, but that was only for like part of the facade of the lot, and that was like a mid-century inspired kind of deal with that little overhang above the front door. As you can see, that is what I was working with. And so at first I was thinking that this was going to be like completely mid-century modern. I mean, it still is on the interior mostly, but then for the exterior, it actually turned out to be more on the contemporary modern side. It definitely does have some hints of mid-century modern. So that is a really fun combination of aesthetics. So yeah, I'm just really happy with how this build came out overall, and it was so much fun to build this with chat actually, because I was struggling with it for some parts. I was smart enough actually to place down the actual bowling alleys right off the bat, like right when I started building, so that I could kind of build the walls literally around the bowling alleys, or like the bowling lanes. So that I actually knew that I was going to have enough space for those. So that was actually a very smart move, if I may say so myself. And then for the rest, it's just a very boxy build, but the floor plan of it makes a lot of sense, and I'm really happy with how it came out. So I actually did have to finish this build off stream, so I did that in my own time to just kind of finish the rest of the furnishing, because I was very slow building this on stream. We were just chatting a lot, and then we had like some raids coming in, and we just had a lot of fun conversations and a lot of decisions to make about this build. So yeah, I just took a little bit of time. I was very slow building this, but eventually I finished it, and I'm really happy with how it came together. So I was having a lot of fun with these wall decorations from both the bowling alley stuff pack, as well as I used a couple things from, I think, City Living and maybe Get Together, as well as Get to Work. Those packs come with a lot of fun, large, like exterior wall decorations, like signs and stuff and lettering and stuff that is really useful for things like this. So yeah, that was really nice. And then for the whole window situation, I was really trying to just figure that out. The build ends up not having a lot of windows in general, which makes sense because I really only placed windows in areas where it would make sense, obviously, and that was not in a whole bunch of places. But it also kind of makes sense because this is basically a lot that you will probably go to at nighttime, so you don't really need a lot of daylight coming in. It's like a going out sort of venue. So yeah, daylight is not really a thing that is prioritized, I would feel. And then this lot, obviously, it's a bowling alley mainly, but there are tons of other things to do. We have a dedicated arcade section with a lot of arcade games, and then also a gaming table or two, I believe, and also one of the like 3D games cubes that came with, I think City Living, I want to say. I'm not exactly sure, but those are there as well. And then on the second floor, we actually have like a nightclub area with a dance floor and a DJ booth, and then some little areas where you can hang out. And then on the ground floor, we also have like a sunken down little area. So almost like a mid-century 70s conversation pit idea where I placed a very large sofa with a big TV so you can play some video games over there. And then I also put some like tables and chairs and stuff. So there are just a lot of different areas in this build where you can hang out. So this is by no means a limited pack build either. I used a lot of different packs because I did want to include a lot of different activities. So yeah, that meant that I had to use a lot of different packs basically, but I don't mind it too much. We also have like a terrace or like a rooftop terrace kind of thing on the second floor, which I really enjoy. That is mainly just a hangout area. But a couple days after I built this, the new smaller telescopes were released with a base game update. So I was thinking of maybe placing those there, but I just decided against it because, I don't know, it just didn't really suit the build. But if you wanted to use like the smaller telescopes, then you could definitely do that for this build as well. And then behind the lot, we also have like a fenced in a little courtyard situation where I just fenced off a little terrace area where your Sims can just hang out. I put a couple grills back there as well as a few dumpsters. As you can see, the dumpsters just really made a lot of sense for this build. So I definitely placed a couple of those. And then I did a little bit of landscaping around the build as well. It's not too excessive because I did want to make it look very modern and kind of neat. It is a community lot and I felt like it would be pretty recently built as well. Like this is a very recently built venue is what I was thinking. So it's quite modern, quite new. And then one thing I also really enjoy about this build is the bathroom. I used the bathroom stalls from, what did they come with? I think they came with University. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. I never really get to use the stalls, but I did use them in my previous build, actually, the one that I uploaded earlier this week, the werewolf hangout. I think I actually used bathroom stalls in that build as well. And then I did that here again, or technically I did it here first. And then I used them for the werewolf hangout as well. So yeah, the stalls really came in handy. I don't use those a lot, so I'm always really happy whenever I have the chance to use them because they're so cool, but they are sometimes a little bit difficult to work with, a little bit finicky because they're so big and bulky and they don't always like fit properly and it's just a little bit difficult to make it work. But yeah, for this build, for this venue, mainly also because I was thinking that this could be fun for teens, those bathroom stalls were perfect. And then here, as you can see, we're getting started on the interior. And this took me a while because as you can see, I placed down 4 bowling alleys. And something that was bothering me so much was the fact that I only have 3 couches and 3 coffee tables in front of them. And then I also placed a couple of smaller tables with chairs behind the couches, as you can see. But as you can see, it's not centered with the actual lanes, like the bowling lanes. I keep calling them alleys, but I mean the lanes. The couches aren't centered with those. I didn't see it at first, but later on when I noticed it, it was bothering me so much. I ended up not changing it because I feel like I'm literally the only one that is put off by it because I feel like it's fine. I mean, even though there are 4 bowling lanes, people are probably going to spread out and it's fine. You can sit down on a couch with someone else. Like you can share a coffee table couch situation. It's fine. It works that way. It's all good. Your Sims don't care. But for some reason, it was just really bothering me. So for the longest time, I was debating whether or not I should change it back to 3 bowling lanes so I could like center it better and stuff. But then I decided to just stick with it because it looks fine. And I love how spacious it is. And there's a lot of like space for your Sims to walk around, to route around. It's not cramped. It feels very big and open. And that is exactly what I wanted to go for. So yeah, I just decided to keep it this way in the end. And I think it looks fine. Like looking back at it now, it doesn't bother me as much at all. It was just probably because I had been looking at it for way too long that it was bothering me so much. Yeah, I feel like now it's fine. And as you can see, we also have a little bar area by the bowling lanes in that little nook, that corner over there, that just fit there perfectly. So that was really a lot of fun. I already played tested this build, obviously, and I think I also used it in my legacy challenge here on YouTube. So it's nicely functional and it works really well. And I just love how colorful it is. It's extremely colorful. As you can see, I used all the colors of the rainbow basically, and it's kind of overwhelming, but I do like it. I do like how it turned out. I was asking my chat if it was too much, if it was too overwhelming, but everyone was like, no, go for all the colors. bowling lanes, bowling alleys, they can't be colorful enough. So that is what I decided to go with. I was really enjoying it. It was a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I'm really happy that I stuck with all the colors. And then here you can see is that little conversation pit area that I was talking about before. At first I was thinking that I wanted to put another bar here, but then I decided to just stick with one bar for the entire lot because I have done community lots with multiple bars, like nightclubs and stuff, or like lounges with multiple bars. And as much as that is like realistic and fun, and it looks really cool, the lot is only gonna have one bartender spawn. So that might be a little bit annoying that you're only gonna have one bartender there, and then maybe they will spawn at the wrong bar, the one that you didn't want to use that time. It's just a little bit finicky. And then if you do want 2 bartenders, you're gonna have to hire one of them yourself, which costs money and stuff. So it's just not that realistic to play with. You could always just hire another bartender and then you're good to go. But if you're playing like without money cheese, for example, then that might be a little bit annoying. So I was like, you know what, to just make this build as gameplay friendly as possible, I'll stick with just one bar and call it a day. So that is what I did. And then this area down here also ended up being a little bit too small for an actual second bar area. So I just decided to go with the big TV and a couple tables and chairs. And then that looks perfectly fine. Just a nice little area where you can just grab a drink at the bar and just hang out with your friends in a little bit of a more quiet area, a little more private area. I don't know, I just really like the idea of that. And then off the conversation pit situation, we have the bathroom that you could just see. The bathroom is very simple, once again, very colorful and maybe a little bit overwhelming, but I'm really happy with how it came together. This, I feel like, just screams teenagers to me, and that is exactly what I wanted to go for, because I personally love playing with teenagers in my game. I love having them like make friends and like make like clubs, like friend clubs, like literal friend groups that you can hang out with, and then you can have this as their hangout area, for example, like their hangout spot where they go every Saturday or every weekend or what have you. I don't know, I just thought that that was a lot of fun. And I mean, all the colors were really helping with that as well. But here you can see we have the little arcade area, and I had a little bit of fun with platforms in here because it was just too much of a boring shape, I want to say. It's just very square and I couldn't make it look interesting. It was just too boxy and I didn't know how to make it work. So I decided to add a little platform area where I placed some of the arcade games, and then I placed another one. I mean, technically they're all the same. They're literally the same games, but I just gave them different swatches so that it might look like they're different games. I wish we had more arcade games, like in different, like various shapes and sizes as well. I think that that would be a lot of fun, but sadly we only have one arcade game in The Sims 4. So this is the one that I'm using, and I repeated it 3 times, which is fine. And then in here, another large TV. This one does not have a console hooked up to it. It's just a TV that you can have, like, I don't know, play music videos in the background or something, or maybe you want to watch a sports game or what have you. And then I also put a stereo down there as well, so you can like basically listen to music in every single room. And then here on the second floor, I think this might be my favorite area of the build, even though it is supposed to be, I mean, it is a bowling alley mainly, so that is the main part of the build, but I really love this like nightclub dance floor situation. Realistically, you would probably want to have this closed off from the rest of the build because it's probably going to be quite loud up here, but I really liked this balcony effect, like looking down to the ground floor. I just really loved it. And then I placed a couple of higher tables with bar stools there as well, so that you can kind of just look over the fence, basically. I don't know, there's not much to see down there, but I just really love the whole vibe of the place. And then we have this very like neon lit dance floor from Get Together that I really enjoyed up here as well. It's very dark and gloomy up here, but that is, I mean, obviously because it's supposed to be a nightclub area or like a dance club area. So it's supposed to be a little bit dark and gloomy. And then I used a lot of neon orange details, which I never go for, but I really loved it. I really love that up here. I really love the whole vibe up here. This one feels like, this area feels a little bit more mature. It feels like more of a young adult area almost. Like young adults, like teenagers that literally just grew up into young adults, like an area for them, basically. I don't know, teenagers can go up there and dance as well. Obviously, it doesn't really matter. But that is just kind of what it feels like to me. There's a little bit of an age difference, maybe. but that is fine. And then, yeah, I just placed a few neon lights up here. And then for the rest, I didn't want to clutter it up too much because I did want there to be more than enough space for your Sims to literally like walk around and route around. Like I said, I really wanted this to be as gameplay friendly as possible. So that is what I decided to do, or like try to do at least. And I feel like it ended up working really, really well. Like I said, I already play tested it. So yeah, it's a really nice and playable lot and a lot of fun in my opinion. I love all the colors. It's so like refreshing and a little bit overwhelming, but sometimes that is just fun in The Sims. But here you can see we have the rooftop terrace area, and I love how this came together. I placed a couple of bubble blowers up here, and for the longest time I was struggling so much with the layout for this area. I couldn't make it work. I didn't know what to do with it. Maybe because I just didn't really have a set plan for this area that it was difficult for me, but I figured it out in the end. I decided to go with some benches and stuff, like some outdoor benches, and then I swapped everything around because my chat was like, this would be such a fun area to hang out and just enjoy the view off of the balcony, which I really, really agreed with. But then I somehow ended up placing all the couches facing inward. So I was looking at it again when I was working with the layout and like trying to figure out what to do. And I was like, you know what? We basically made this area for the view, but then we only have couches facing inward. So I decided to like flip them around and have the couches face the outside, basically, like the outside area, like off of the balcony. And so this is more of like a private little area, like maybe when you're on a date and you want to have a little bit of quiet time, you can just go out there and like hang out on the couch and enjoy the view. It's a little bit more on the romantic side. I really enjoy that. And then I did keep a few, like 2 bubble blowers. So that is just another activity basically for your Sims to do, which I thought was a lot of fun and definitely added something to this lot as well. But here you can see, I basically didn't want to have this lot only be useful at nighttime, even though like bowling definitely seems something you would do at nighttime, maybe. I still also wanted this to be like more of a daytime area. So I decided to make this like grill area at the back of the lot, basically. So when it's like a nice summer day or a summer afternoon, you want to hang out here, you can definitely do that. You can just hang out outside, grill up some food, hang out with your friends. It's not the most inspiring area, like it's not the prettiest, but it is very realistic and I still really like how it came out. So I just made this like makeshift planter, as you can see, out of some half walls and a platform, and I placed a bunch of little plants, mostly lavender in there. I think maybe even only lavender. I don't know, but I really like how it came out. I feel like it looks really cute. And then back there we have the dumpsters as well. So definitely not the prettiest, but definitely very realistic. And then I just repeated a couple of the outdoor benches out here as well with the coffee tables in between. So you can hang out here with a larger friend group maybe. I thought that would be fun and realistic. And I added another little planter box in here as well to just kind of separate the two couch, hangout, bench areas, if you will. I don't really know what to call it. And then for the rest, I just did a little bit of extra landscaping. I added some details to the walls of the exterior, and then that is basically gonna be it. So let's jump right into the game and I'll show you the lot in real time. So here we have the bowling alley in the game. It is nighttime, so it's really just the right vibe. So here we have the facade of the build. I used a lot of signs, as you can see, and I parked a couple of bikes out there. Then over here on this side, I just placed a whole bunch of trees to kind of make up for the fact that we don't have any windows. This is just a blank wall, basically. So I really like this row of trees back here. And then over here we have the back of the lot with the picnic tables and the outdoor benches and the grills and stuff over here. So this is a really fun area in my opinion. And then back here I repeated those trees, but then the smaller version. And then that brings us back to the front of the lot. So let's go inside. It's very overwhelming in here. It's very colorful, very loud, but that is exactly what I wanted for this build. Over here on this side, you immediately kind of walk into the bowling section of the lot, which makes sense because it is a bowling alley. So over here we have the sofas lined up with some tables behind it. Here you can just place your shoes and grab yourself some bowling shoes. And then here we have some extra balls that you can get. Then here we have the lanes themselves. I feel like it looks really fun. I put some big posters on the wall next to it as well to just kind of fill up the emptiness. And then back here, you can grab yourself a drink or just hang out at the bar, which I don't know, I really love how this area ended up looking. Then over here, we have a tiny little staircase going downstairs or down this platform. And this is the little conversation pit. So we have a large sectional sofa in here with a very big flat screen TV so you can play some video games. And then we have a stereo in the corner and just this decorative little number over here. And then we have this staircase leading into the bathrooms. There's not a whole lot to show you for this one because it is just bathrooms, just a whole bunch of stalls and then a whole bunch of sinks over here on this side. But I feel like it looks very realistic. And then through this large glass door, we enter into the arcade area. So it looks like my sim is just hanging out here watching a little bit of TV. But yeah, you can obviously play some games here. We have the arcade machines over here and then the 3D game cubes over there as well. And then back here we have the terrace that I already showed you. Then when we go upstairs, this is my favorite area of the lot. So yeah, we have this nightclub dancing going out area basically with a large dance floor in the middle and then this DJ booth. We have a sectional couch here as well where you can just sit down and hang out, and then we have a few couches over here and obviously a lot of tables over here on this side as well. So this is just a really fun party place. I really love it. And then over here behind these black curtains, we have the glass doors leading onto the rooftop terrace. So this one does have a roof over it, so you can sit here even when it's raining, which is really nice. So we have a couple of bubble blowers and then just some benches where you can have like a romantic little date and just enjoy the view over Newcrest. I don't know, I really love that idea. But that is basically it for this build. So this Newcrest bowling alley is up on the gallery. I built it on a 40 by 30 in Newcrest, basically on that very large strip of lots in Newcrest. I put it on the gallery as a nightclub, so that's what you can use it for. You can obviously also change the lot type, that is no big deal. And then as you can see, I did use a whole bunch of packs because it does have so many different activities. But yeah, if you want to place it in your game, then it goes perfectly in Newcrest. But that is going to do it for today's video, so I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can download it off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also stream over on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/SimmarySims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!